Once again, I welcome you all to this other lesson, a new lesson on atom, element, molecules, and compounds. Thank you, my viewers and my students, for always expecting my lessons. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share this video. Today we'll be looking at atoms, elements, molecules, and compounds. And the objective of this lesson is that by the end of this class, the student should be able to define what is an atom, an element, a molecule, and a compound. Differentiate between the properties of an atom. Calculate the atomic number and atomic mass. Calculate for the number of electron, proton, and neutron in an atom, and state the types of molecules and compounds that we have. Looking at the atomic structure. What is an atom? An atom is the smallest particle of an element that retains the chemical properties of that element. And we say that atoms can combine with other atoms to form molecules, but cannot be divided into smaller parts by ordinary chemical processes. We say that in atomic structure, we have the electrons that circle around the orbit of that atom. Is moving around, around that atom. And we have the nucleus of the atom, we have proton, and we have the neutron. The proton has a positive charge of +1, and they are found in every atomic nucleus of every element. The proton is always found. And it has a mass of 1.67 times 10 raised to the power minus 27 kilograms. We also have the electron, represented as that green ball there. It has a negative charge, a charge of -1. Electrons are found, in the atomic structure, and it has a mass of 9.11 times 10 raised to the power minus 11 kilograms. And we have the neutron. The neutron is there, and it is an electrically neutral compound. They carry no charge. And the mass of a neutron is 1.67 times 10 raised to the power minus 27 kilograms. The mass of a neutron is just like the mass of a proton. The proton and the neutron in the nucleus make up almost all of the mass of an atom. And the protons are positively charged while the neutrons have no charge. So we say that the nucleus is positively charged, since it is made up of exclusively of protons and neutrons. In almost every element, protons are accompanied by neutrons. The only exception is the nucleus of the simplest element, which is hydrogen. Hydrogen contains only a single proton and no neutron. What is the property of an atom? Atoms are said to be electrically neutral. The number of protons, which are positively charged, and electrons, which are negatively charged, are equal in an atom. Therefore, opposite charges are balanced, or thus there is no net charge on the atom. Moreover, the neutrons present in an atom have no charge. Hence, an atom is electrically neutral. How are atomic ions formed? Atomic ions are formed when atoms gain or lose electrons. For example, the sodium ion we have here, it tells us that it has lost one of its electrons, and therefore it attains a charge of +1. And then the chloride ion here, it has gained an electron and it has attained the charge of -1. So in sodium ion, since it lost an electron, it has 10 electrons, total of 10 electrons. And chlorine, or the chloride ion now, has a total of 18 electrons. What characteristics of an atom gives it its unique property? It is the atomic number and the mass number. The atomic number of an atom we know is the number of protons in the nucleus of that atom, while the mass number is the total number of proton and neutron in the nucleus of that atom. These properties gives it its unique nature. Just like human beings, we have our own unique fingerprint. Atomic mass of an element. The atomic mass of an element is the sum of the number of protons and neutrons in that atom. For example, the fluorine atom, having a symbol F. It has the subscript here as 9. The 9 there shows the number of protons. And then it has the superscript as 18.998, which shows the atomic mass of fluorine. And this can be approximated to 19. It tells us that fluorine atom has 9 protons and 10 neutrons, and it has an atomic mass of 19 AMU. And the mass of atoms are determined experimentally using mass spectrometers. We can calculate the number of neutrons in an atom if we know the atomic mass and the number of protons. What is the unit of measurement for atomic mass? The atomic mass units were defined based on the masses of proton and neutron by determining that one carbon atom has only 6 protons and usually 6 neutrons in its nucleus, and therefore should be about 12 AMU. The unit of measurement for atomic mass is atomic mass unit, that is 1 AMU. And the unit of mass is also called a Dalton, in bracket dA. 1 AMU equals to 1.661 times 10 raised to the power minus 24 grams. So you can be told to calculate the atomic mass in grams. Like the question we have here, what is the mass number of a sodium atom with 12 neutrons? It has an atomic mass of 22.9898. What is its mass in grams? Sodium atom has 11 protons in the nucleus. For an atom with 12 neutrons, the mass number will be 23. The atomic symbol for sodium is Na, and it has a subscript 11, which shows the number of protons, and it has superscript 23, which shows the atomic mass. The 23 there is the mass number. To convert it to grams, you multiply the atomic mass given to you, which is 22.9898 AMU, times 1.661 times 10 raised to the power minus 24 gram over AMU. And AMU will cancel out, and then you have the mass of sodium atom in grams as 3.819 times 10 raised to the power minus 23 grams. We can calculate the number of proton, electron, and neutron of ions and atoms. But always note that when an atom has a negative sign on it, it means that it has more electrons than proton in that atom. And that negative sign turns it to become what we call ion. It attained an ionic state. A positive charged ion has also lost electrons, while a negative charged one gained electron. It is just like in life. When you borrow, like that negative sign that says you borrowed, it means that atom has borrowed electrons. And then when you see a positive sign, it means that atom gave out its electrons. Gave out. If you borrow something from somebody, you use it at that moment, you are still negative, you are still deficient. But the one that gave to you is still positive because he is the owner of that thing. Look at this question we have here. How many protons and electrons are in this chloride ion? This is a chloride ion. Cl, there is a negative sign of -1, which tells us that this ion, borrowed from somebody and it gained an electron. It has an electron that it borrowed. So in this chloride ion, the number of protons of chlorine we know is 17. Is 17. Chlorine has an atomic number of 17. But this chloride ion here, it has borrowed an electron, so it gained an electron. So it has a charge, negative, and the number of electrons is 18 electrons. 18 electrons. How many protons and electrons and neutrons are in the following sodium ion? I told you that when you gain a charge or when you lose a charge, you become an ion. They have used sodium here. This sodium has a +1. Remember, I said a +1 because it has donated one of its electrons to somebody. So it has become +1. It has donated to another ion. So we know that sodium has an atomic number of 11 and the mass number of 23. So for this sodium ion, it has 11 protons. It has 11 protons. But it lost an electron. That is why it is +1. It lost. It has a +1. So the number of electrons is 10 because it has lost 1. For the mass number is the number of proton plus number of neutron. So we know for this sodium ion here, the mass number of number is 23. The number of proton is 11, and the number of neutron we don't know. So we know that mass number equals to number of proton plus number of neutron. So from this, now we add, we put the 23, which is the number of the mass number, minus, minus the number of proton. From then, we'll be able to calculate our number of neutron. From this sodium ion, it has 12. 23 minus 11 will give us 12 neutrons. Study this because there will be some problems given to you to identify. What is an element? An element is a chemical substance that cannot be broken down into other substances. The basic particle that constitutes a chemical element is the atom. Each chemical element is distinguished by the number of protons in the nuclei of that element, known as the atomic number. I've said that earlier. For oxygen, it has an atomic number of 8, meaning that each oxygen atom has 8 protons in its nucleus. There are about 118 elements on the periodic table. And on the periodic table, we have metals and non-metals. Metals are elements that are malleable and conduct electricity, like gold, aluminium. And we have also mercury, that is a liquid metal. Mercury is the only liquid metal on the periodic table. We also have non-metals. They do not conduct electricity, like carbon and oxygen. We have isotopes of an element. These are elements that have the same number of protons but have different number of neutrons. For example, carbon can exist as carbon-12, carbon-13, and carbon-14. We will discuss the periodic table in detail as we progress in the course of all these lectures. Molecule. A molecule is a group of atoms bounded together, representing the smallest fundamental unit of a chemical compound that can take part in a chemical reaction. And we have different types of molecules. We have the molecules of an atom, that are monoatomic. One molecule of a noble gas has one atom. They are chemically unreactive. We know that. We call them inert. They cannot react. Example, neon or argon. We have the molecule of an element. The molecule of an element is made of the same type of atoms. That is an atom of the same element. Well, we have like oxygen. Oxygen molecule has two atoms of oxygen, to form a molecule. So that's an example of a molecule of an element, and we call it O2. We have molecules of a compound. Molecules that are made up of two or more elements are called compounds. We have the hydrogen chloride. It is made up of two elements there. It's made up of one hydrogen atom and one chlorine atom, And then we have H2O, that is very common. We know H2O is water. H2O is made up of two hydrogen atoms and one oxygen atom to form water. Then we have compounds. A compound is a material formed by chemically bonding two or more chemical elements together. We have ionic compounds made up of charged particles called ions. And then we have covalent compounds that are composed of atoms that share electrons together. H2O is a covalent compound. And then we have organic compounds, that are bonded or containing carbon bonded to hydrogen atoms. I'll call them organic compounds, like methane, CH4, and ethane, C2H6. And then we have inorganic compounds. These are compounds that are not made of carbon, or as well as carbon-containing compounds that lack carbon-carbon bond. There may be carbon there, but there is no carbon-carbon bond in such a molecule, in such a compound, and we call such compound inorganic compound, just as carbonates, carbon dioxide. Carbonates, like we have here calcium carbonate, we have carbon dioxide. There's carbon there in calcium dioxide. There's one carbon, but it is bonded to oxygen and not a molecule and not to carbon molecules. And then we have H2S, which is hydrogen sulfides. We have an assignment for you. The assignment states thus: how many protons, neutrons, and electrons are each of the following atoms or ions? Calcium ion, magnesium atom, magnesium ion, cobalt atom, cobalt ion, selenium ion, selenium atom, and platinum atom. It is important that you attend this assignment. And if you have watched this video to this position, it shows that you are interested in this video. Don't fail to share this video with your children, with your loved ones, with your classmates. Share this video, and I love you. Thank you very much for creating this time to watch my video. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like and comment and share this video. See you in the next class.